Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. If this is your first time here, welcome to Beasley's World, where we craft pitches, breakdowns, and rewrites. If that sounds like your kind of content, hit that subscribe button right next to my channel name. Now, without further ado, today's video is particularly special to me. This is a Star Wars series I've been wanting to pitch for a long time. The time period is new territory for me, even compared to my other Star Wars pitches. It sits close to the Phantom Menace and the prequel trilogy, which holds a special place in my heart. I hope you enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed developing it. 2 centuries before the shadow of the Trade Federation blockade and the rise of the Sith, the Old Republic enjoys what many still call its golden age. The Jedi Order stands as the unchallenged protectors of peace and justice, their lightsabers a symbol of hope across the stars. Yet beneath the polished veneer of Coruscant's spires and the Senate's endless debates, quiet fractures are spreading. Bureaucratic gridlock slows decisive action. The Outer Rim worlds feel increasingly abandoned. And in the boardrooms of the Trade Federation, early whispers of militarization and profit-driven ambition are taking root, seeds that will one day grow into open separatism. Into this delicately balanced era steps a team of 4 Jedi Knights, dispatched from the Jedi Temple to the remote Outer Rim planet Christos. A glittering world of towering crystal formations and vast underground mines, Christos supplies the rare crystalline ores that once powered the Republic's earliest hyperdrive and weapons advancements, a direct forerunner to the resource-rich Christophsis that will later become a battleground in the Clone Wars. Their mission is ostensibly simple: mediate a rising labor and territorial dispute between the local crystal miners and the Trade Federation's expanding corporate presence. Zane Voss, 46, human, Corellian-born, broad-shouldered, gray streaking his dark hair, one arm replaced below the elbow by a sleek mechanical prosthesis after a lightsaber training accident went catastrophically wrong many years ago. Once the very model of Jedi orthodoxy, Zane has grown quietly disillusioned. A Senate-sanctioned security action he failed to stop left an entire colony's children orphaned. The memory still wakes him in the night. He leads with calm authority and a dry, understated humor, but his private creed has shifted. The code is a shield, not chains. He will protect life first, even when protocol demands otherwise. Callan Ricks, 34, human, originally from the crowded underlevels of Nar Shaddaa before the Jedi found him. Lean, quick-eyed, with a crooked smile that never quite reaches his eyes and a habit of running a hand through his short, perpetually tousled brown hair. A former smuggler and confidence man who turned his silver tongue and nimble mind toward the light side, Callan still thinks 3 steps ahead in any negotiation. He uses forced persuasion the way a lawyer uses precedent. Smoothly, creatively, and usually with a quip ready, the Force flows through credits too. Out here, it's all negotiation. Beneath the charm lies a man slowly learning that loyalty is worth more than any score. Celestis Thorne, 28, human, born into one of Naboo's oldest noble families. Tall, elegantly proportioned, with the refined features and dark, wavy hair of Naboo aristocracy. Brilliant, articulate, and privately convinced that the galaxy would run better if people like him were in charge. Rim assignments chafe at his sense of station. He masks insecurity with dry sarcasm and an air of effortless superiority. Yet, beneath the entitlement lies genuine compassion waiting to be uncovered, and the painful realization that the Jedi Order's closeness to the Senate may not be as virtuous as he once believed. Artem Kale, 42, human, hailing from the high plateaus of a long-lost colony world, whose people carried ancient warrior traditions into the stars. Broad, heavily muscled, with close-cropped black hair, beginning to silver at the temples and ritual scars tracing geometric patterns across his arms and chest. Years earlier, a Sith holocron corrupted and destroyed his entire clan. The guilt and rage nearly consumed him. The Jedi pulled him back from the brink, but the shadow still lingers in his silences. He finds equilibrium in disciplined meditation, often whispering original haiku to center himself even in combat. Shadows define light. In balance, we endure. En route to Christos aboard the Republic cruiser Resolute Dawn, the Jedi intercept a distress call from the Trade Federation bulk freighter Luminara Freight. They arrive to find the massive bulbous vessel under ferocious attack by ships unlike any in Republic records. The attackers are the Adonais, tall, eel-like humanoids with smooth, iridescent skin and long, glowing neural tendrils that extend from their skulls and merge symbiotically with the organic hulls of their living vessels. They emerge without warning from an unstable hyperspace rift, their bioweapons releasing clouds of acidic enzymes that bloom across shields and superstructure, dissolving armor in eerie, luminous patterns. Zane leads a hazardous boarding action through melting corridors. They rescue the terrified Neimoidian Viceroy Lurdo Vic, pale green skin mottled with fear, clutching a satchel of stolen Adonai's holocrons, along with what remains of his crew. Callan, working quickly at a damaged terminal, decrypts the freighter's logs and uncovers damning evidence. The Federation had been sending deep probe drones into uncharted sectors known to border Adonid's space, deliberately provoking contact in order to manufacture a crisis that would force the Senate to loosen restrictions on private defense forces and allow deployment of prototype battle droids already hidden in the cargo holds. The team reaches Christos and meets with Planetary Chancellor Alara Voss, Zane's younger sister by 4 years. Once close, their relationship fractured years ago over his devotion to the Jedi Code and her decision to enter secular politics. She now governs the miners with pragmatic toughness, trying to balance worker safety against the Federation's economic pressure. The personal tension between brother and sister adds a raw, unspoken layer to every briefing. Celestis, seeking common ground, spends time among the miners and forms a tentative bond with Kira, a bright, idealistic 20-year-old apprentice who reminds him painfully of the boy he once was, before privilege hardened his edges. Artem, walking alone through the humming crystal caverns, begins to hear faint harmonic songs resonating through the ore, prophetic whispers from the Adonais that speak of gathering imbalance across the galaxy. Callan disappears into the Undercity's smoky cantinas and black market stalls, trading small Jedi talismans for fragments of dangerous rumor. Someone high in the Senate may have known about and quietly encouraged the Federation's reckless probes. As the Trade Federation broadcasts an urgent appeal to Coruscant, grant us the right to defend ourselves or the Outer Rim will burn. A final, unseen betrayal unfolds. A cloaked figure slips through the shadows of the mining headquarters and plants a high-yield charge. The explosion tears through the central spire, collapsing walkways, severing power, and trapping the Jedi team amid the glittering wreckage. Communications go dark. Long-range sensors detect incoming signatures. The first wave of Adonai's probe vessels, descending through Christos' atmosphere like pale, living comets, their neural tendrils already pulsing with predatory intent. The next episode opens with a chilling prequel parallel as Federation battle droids activate across key facilities in a routine security drill that reads as anything but routine. Their movements are jerky, panicked, foreshadowing the cold mechanical efficiency that will blockade Naboo years later. Meanwhile, Senate chambers buzz with heated debate over the Christos crisis. A slick, oily senator glides through the crowd, whispering calculated divisions into receptive ears. This proto-Palpatine figure never takes center stage, but operates in margins and shadows, planting seeds of distrust between factions. His manipulation is surgical, pitting core worlds against Outer Rim interests, suggesting the Adonais are merely territorial natives being provoked by Christophon expansion. Zane faces his own moral crucible, interrogating the captured Neimoidian Lurdo. The Trade Federation operative spins elaborate lies with practiced ease, his triple-chinned face arranged in false innocence. We sought knowledge, not war, Lurdo insists, claiming the Federation merely wanted to study the Adonai's crystals for peaceful energy applications. Zane's Jedi training demands he seek truth and show mercy, but his protective instincts for Christos burn hot. He must navigate the murky waters between justice and vengeance, honor and pragmatism. The interrogation becomes a chess match of words where Lurdo's deceptions test whether Zane will compromise his principles to extract information. Callan's character arc takes a pivotal turn in the shadows of Christos's black markets. He cons a grizzled dealer for crucial intelligence on Adonai's artifacts, using his trademark charm and deception. But when the moment comes to eliminate the witness, standard operating procedure for someone with his background, Callan hesitates. The thug is pathetic, cowering, not worth the stain on his soul. One good turn might save us all, Callan mutters, half convinced he's being foolish. He lets the man live, offering a cryptic warning instead. It's a small mercy, but the first genuine one Callan has shown. The scene plants seeds of redemption, suggesting that proximity to Jedi ideals is slowly eroding his cynical armor. Celestis discovers a family artifact among his mother's belongings, an ornate Naboo data chip encoded with generations of family history. What he uncovers shakes him to his core. His ancestors accepted bribes from Trade Federation intermediaries decades ago, facilitating early resource exploitation agreements that laid groundwork for current corruption. The revelation transforms his understanding of himself. Is he truly a Jedi devoted to justice, or merely an heir to a legacy of compromise and collaboration with exploiters? The internal conflict manifests as he trains Kira, whose raw force potential and untamed emotions mirror the passionate Padawans of the prequel era. Her questions about right and wrong become mirrors reflecting his own uncertainty. Artem's scholarly obsession bears dark fruit as he deciphers an Adonais crystal's encoded history. The revelation is staggering. The Adonais aren't simply hostile aliens, but ancient exiles, displaced centuries ago by Republic expansions during the High Republic era. Their aggression stems from generational trauma, their culture fractured by being driven from ancestral worlds. This ties directly to High Republic lore while foreshadowing how Sith manipulators have historically exploited alien grievances against the Republic. Artem sees uncomfortable parallels to his own story, a people consumed by rage over loss. His visions intensify, dragging him into a hallucinatory force confrontation with his Sith shadow, a dark manifestation of the rage-fueled warrior he once was. The duel is brutal and internal, fought in symbolism and memory rather than physical space. He sees himself standing over his clan's ruins, saber ignited, their deaths a consequence of his unchecked fury. The vision forces him to confront the truth he's been avoiding. His desire for redemption doesn't erase what he's done. In the asteroid field surrounding Christos, Zane and Artem set an ambush for an Adonais scout vessel. The trap springs perfectly. They have the tactical advantage, the element of surprise. But as Artem prepares to deliver a killing blow to the wounded scout, he freezes. Through the Force, he feels the creature's fear, its desperate will to survive, its memories of home. It's too familiar. Instead of striking, he interposes himself, taking a vicious wound meant for Zane. The injury is severe, slashing across his torso. With gritted teeth and raw force technique, Artem cauterizes his own wound using superheated force energy, a dangerous, painful technique that leaves him gasping. In the aftermath, as Zane treats him, Artem makes a confession he's never fully voiced. My clan's fall, I fueled it with rage. These Adonais are kin in pain. He explains how his anger transformed defensive protection into destructive vengeance, how he became the very threat he'd sought to eliminate. The vulnerable moment deepens their partnership, showing Zane the complexity of redemption. Back on Christos proper, Callan's investigation yields fruit. Using his underworld contacts and cunning, he traces supply disruptions to their source, a mining foreman named Drellick, a mid-level administrator with gambling debts and expensive tastes. The man cracked under pressure from Federation operatives, offering credits for strategic oversights, delayed shipments, mislabeled cargo, accidental equipment failures. It's small-scale corruption with large-scale consequences, that the kind of rot that hollows institutions from within. The revelation echoes prequel themes of systemic decay, showing how grand conspiracies rely on countless small betrayals. The episode's action climax erupts as Adonai's raiders launch a coordinated strike on Christophan's settlements, but this attack reveals horrifying new intelligence. The Adonais possess biological weaponry reminiscent of Geonosian brainworms. Writhing neural tendrils burrow into victims' skulls, overriding their will and transforming them into puppet soldiers. The body horror is visceral and terrifying, showing the Adonais as sophisticated and desperate enough to weaponize their own biology. Celestis and Kira find themselves trapped when a crystal mining tunnel collapses during the raid. In the chaos, an infested ally, someone Celestis knew, perhaps trained with, lurches toward Kira with murderous intent. Celestis is forced to make an impossible choice: kill the infected person or risk Kira's life. He chooses the former, his lightsaber cutting down someone who might have been saved. The killing blow leaves a moral scar deeper than any physical wound. Mercy has limits. he tells Kira afterward, his voice hollow. The idealistic Jedi student has taken his first step toward the compromises that define the prequel era, where war forces impossible choices and erodes absolute principles. The episode concludes with devastating political news transmitted from Coruscant. The Senate has formally denied Christos' request for military aid and advanced weaponry. The official reasoning cites budget constraints and non-interference protocols, but leaked communications tell a darker story. Internal sabotage and strategic information suppression ensured the vote's failure. Certain senators, including the oily manipulator from the opening, received donations from Trade Federation-aligned interests. The decision isn't just bureaucratic inefficiency, it's orchestrated betrayal, echoing the prequel trilogy's themes of institutional corruption and the Republic's moral rot from within. And that's the first 2 episodes in the books. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think so far, and where do you think the story's going? If you're enjoying the journey, hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching Beasley's World.